Man, congratulations, because you just stumbled across the video that is going to be responsible for you closing your next 3K a month client. Guys, I remember at the beginning of my copywriting journey, I had so many questions. Where do I even find clients? Like, what websites? What should I search? How do I do it? Where should I go? How should I outreach to them? How often should I follow up? What should I follow up with? And that's why in today's video, you are going to get the answer to all of those questions and so much more for precisely $0. That's right, guys. This is the most value ever given away by anybody ever for free. Because in this video, you are going to get free email templates, free follow-up templates, tools, and resources so that you can close your next client. So without any further ado, man, let's hop right into it. Okay, so as you can see, I have here some of my recent wins from the Discord server. Now, guys, I want to share this with you because one of the biggest issues that people run into is they start outreaching and then they feel like there's no opportunity out there. They feel like all the copywriting clients are already accounted for. They start to get discouraged and they give up. But for a minute, let me just prove that there is, in fact, an abundance of opportunity when it comes to copywriting. Guys, check this out. And keep in mind that you guys are going to learn in a minute all of the outreach strategies that these guys have been using. So this is my boy Octavan. He is from the server. And as you can see here, he is 15 years old and he is making $2K from copywriting. And over here, we have my boy Ayan. He is 16 years old. And he is at $3,000 for the month with copywriting. Over here, we have my boy Zenos. Zenos is my right-hand man, and he has made his first ever 10K month with copywriting at 20 years old. And now, guys, I want to also point out that these people, especially the young guys in their teens, will probably never have to work a 9-to-5 job ever in their life. Ever in their life will they ever have to work a 9-to-5 job. Okay, over here we have Kevin, and Kevin has actually closed, believe it or not, Ty Lopez as a copywriting client. Yes, Ty Lopez. Yes, that guy here in my garage, pretty much the first big entrepreneur to really set it off online. And this guy is working as his copywriter. Guys, the opportunities out here are endless, okay? 3K a month with Ty Lopez. Over here we have Leo. And my boy Leo is from Sweden. He is actually working for a local solar cell company. And he's looking to rack in around 3 to 4K a month in commission with them at only 14 years old. This dude is probably making more money than his teachers, more money than his parents, and he is just a young buck. Okay, and over here we have Alan, who's at $2,000 a month at 16 years old. I show that to you to prove to you that there's an abundance of opportunity, but also show you that the outreach methods that I'm about to be sharing with you are highly effective. So make sure you pay very close attention. Okay, so here's what you're going to be learning today. Today, you will be learning the best copywriting niches that you can start, which exact ones to go into, which exact ones to avoid, okay? Prospecting and finding potential clients, where to find them. You guys are gonna get full walkthroughs. I'm literally going to do it right in front of you. And I'm going to also give you examples from me and also from my students. Again, the amount of value in here is going to be absolutely insane. Most people, not only would they make you pay for this, but this video that you're watching right now is way better than most paid content out there. Okay, so make sure you really pay attention here. Next up, you're gonna learn the outreach methods that you can use to get sales calls. You're gonna learn the follow-up formulas you can use to maximize your outreach efforts. You're going to get proven sales call tactics to seal the deal, and you're going to learn how to get client results plus referral clients. Guys, I'm putting it all out. I'm putting it all right here for you guys to learn, and it's going to be incredible. It's going to be amazing. So, of course, I need to show you guys how to actually get the most out of this course, because you just sitting there watching it passively is not what's going to get you results, okay? Now understand, I'm giving you all of this value, and the only one thing that I ask in return is that you get out there and you make some money. That's all I want. That is all I want. I want you to go out there and make some money. And the only way you're going to do that is if you follow these next steps, okay? First of all, I want you to save the course for later by leaving a like. Guys, this is going to be a colossal sized video. You can watch it all the way through if you'd like, but you might have to come back to it. And if you're going to do that, you're going to want to leave a like so that you can easily find it later, because you can go back in YouTube and look at your liked videos. Next up, you're going to want to follow every step carefully. Of course, there's going to be lots of action steps in here, guys. This is not just going to be me talking at you and giving you some information. No, I'm going to give you actionable advice, step by step, a complete blueprint on how to get your next 3K a month copywriting client. Next up, ask all of your questions in the comments. Guys, it's only natural that you have questions after digesting so much incredible information, okay? So if I skipped over anything that you're not really still sure of, there are no stupid questions. Go down in the comments and ask them, because I'm sure if you're wondering it, probably other people are wondering it too. And I answer every single comment on every single video. So if you ever have any questions, guys, leave them down there and they will be answered. Next up, guys, I want you to take notes and watch certain parts again, because this is going to be jam-packed. I will not dilly-dally. There will be no fluff. I will not just sit there and belabor the same points over and over and over. There's going to be a lot in here. And in order for you to fully take it in, to fully really get a good grasp of what I'm talking about and how to do it, you're going to want to not only take notes that you can come back to later, but you're also going to want to watch this video again afterwards, okay? So with all of that in mind, let's get right into it, okay? Right into the nitty gritty. So are you ready? You better be ready, man. You better be ready, because we are not stopping for nobody. So I want to first go over the 4 biggest mistakes on your path to getting clients. Number 1 is letting money get in the way of opportunity. Guys, so hear me out. If you're just a beginner, you've never had a client before, that is okay. But you shouldn't be worried about, well, I have no clients, so I want to start charging $3K a month. Well, you might want to chill on that, because you don't have a proven product yet. You're still in the beta testing phase to see if your product really works, okay? So I've had it many times in the beginning of my copywriting career, where I had opportunities to work with clients for starting with, right, just a couple $100s, and have opportunities to make more with them down the line. But I turned those deals down because I was too busy, swinging for the fences and looking for the people who would just pay me big money up front, even though I, in that moment, didn't really know what I was doing. So don't let money get in the way of opportunity. Rule number 1, okay? I always say that the best way to speed run your way to 10K a month is not to try to skip steps, but is to try to get through all of the steps quickly, okay? So get those free trials out of the way, get those small deals out of the way so that you can start closing those big deals faster, okay? Next up, overthinking and underdoing. That's what most people do when they try to get clients. But what you're going to want to do is flip that, okay? You're going to want to underthink and overdo, okay? Action, 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 action. You have to go. You have to be persistent. You have to just turn your brain off and just work. Just do it. Next is working hard on the wrong thing. Guys, this video, I promise you, is what's going to lead you to getting your next client, okay? Now, what a lot of people do is they look for some secret, hidden tactic, way, trick to how to use AI to automatically send 4 million outreaches a day. Like, don't worry about that. Don't try to do all that crazy stuff, okay? Especially right now, what you need to do is focus on mastering the basics, and it will get you the results. Because what a lot of times people do is they waste time just looking for those hidden strategies or hidden secret tactics, blah, 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 blah. Guys, it don't work like that, okay? Just master what I'm about to show you here in this video, and I promise you, without a shadow of a doubt, you will be closing your next client in the next 30, 60, or 90 days. No doubt about it. Next up, don't get discouraged or give up, man. Don't get discouraged or give up, okay? Nothing worth having is easy to get. Okay, we'll just leave it at that. Nothing worth having is just easy to get. You're gonna have to work a little bit. You'll probably get rejected. You'll probably mess up, but man, just be persistent, and it will all work out. Okay, I remember on my copywriting journey, I wanted to give up so many different times. Okay, but then eventually, after around 9 months, I hit my first 10K month. And while now that might sound kind of quick, it really wasn't, because I made so many different mistakes. And if I would have had the things that I'm showing you here in this video, it would have easily chopped it down probably to half as much time. I probably would have got there in like 4 months, 10K a month in 4 months, which is pretty good, which is pretty good. So, guys, first thing we want to do is pick a niche. All right, picking a niche is first up. Now, when it comes to picking our niche, I first want to go over some common mistakes. The first one is niching down way too deep. For example, I only work with personal trainers that train people with kettlebell calisthenic gymnastics, right? That's way too deep. You're only going to have like 3 prospects in that certain niche. Okay, so you don't want to niche down too deep, and you also don't want to choose just weird niches. Okay, it kind of goes along with the point that I just said, but any just weird niches, like, I don't know, just something strange, just like a dog walking niche or pets or something that's just way off in the distance, right? And it's going to make more sense when I tell you what to do. Okay, and next is overly broad niches. So if you're just like, well, I'm just going to outreach to online businesses, it's like, okay, but what kind? You got to niche down at least a little bit farther than that. So here are some basic principles that you are going to want to do, okay? Things that you somewhat resonate with. And the reason why you want to reach out to niches that you somewhat resonate with is because you understanding the target audience is going to be integral to you being a successful copywriter in that specific niche. Example, I am not a mother, okay? So if, obviously, I'm not a woman or a mother. So if I started reaching out to I don't know, mother niche where they're like, here's how to become an entrepreneur so that you can spend more time with your kids, right? A mompreneur type niche. Well, I would have a lot of trouble getting into it, okay? And I would be having a lot of trouble getting into it because I can't really identify a lot with that niche. I'm really not the target audience. But on the other hand, if I started reaching out to personal trainers, right? I go to the gym, I do a little bit of fitness. I know what, basically, what a lot of fitness people use as their marketing message, and I can actually use that in my copywriting, okay? So you want to choose niches that you at least somewhat resonate with. You can choose niches that you don't resonate with, but just understand that it's going to be harder for you to start in that niche because you're going to need to do a lot of avatar research, a lot of target audience research. Next up is to make sure that the niche is profitable and in high demand. An easy way to do that is make sure that it is a proven niche. So all you got to do is ask yourself or ask people in the Discord server, the free Discord server link down below, for example, is anybody making money in this specific niche? Is anybody making money with the finance niche, in finance courses, in credit repair, in the investing niche, any of those? Anybody making money? And if the answer is yes, then that is a proven niche, and that means that there is opportunity in there for you. Now, sure, there might be some fringe niche that some copywriters somewhere is winning at, but you want to look for, how common is the niche. Now, of course, people are going to say, well, doesn't that mean that the niche is oversaturated? If everybody's making money in that niche, doesn't it mean that it's oversaturated? And I would say no, it doesn't mean that it's oversaturated. It just means that there's a lot of opportunity in there. Okay, so next, see, the prospects should need you, because the thing is, if you're outreaching to a trucking company, for example, they might not even have a website. They might not even have an online product. They're just trucking. Like, it doesn't make sense to try to reach out to those niches because they literally probably don't even use copywriters, because they probably don't even use email lists or sales pages or anything like that. Okay, so you want to keep all of those in mind when looking for a niche. Now, we have some niches to avoid here. First up is the beauty industry, because like I said, they don't really rely on copywriting, okay? Next up is low margin e-commerce business. So all these businesses who are just getting by, basically. So for example, they sell like a $5 product and it costs $4 to ship it, make it, and all that. So they're only really profiting $1 off of each and every single product. They usually are not the ones that you're going to want to go for. Okay. Now, obviously, I should mention that it doesn't mean that it's impossible to be a copywriter in this niche or impossible to be a copywriter in this niche. Okay. I want to give you guys the best odds that you can possibly get. Okay. The best odds, which is why I'm giving you this in the first place. And next up is overly corporate niches. Okay. If you want to If you're trying to outreach to like banks or something, like they're overly corporate. They're going to be asking you, well, do you have like a 4-year degree or some, stupid stuff? So you don't really want to outreach to overly corporate niches either. Next up, we have some approved niches for my boys. So the financial niche is great. So anything that has to do with credit repair, investing, anything like that, any online info products surrounding that as well is really good. Next up is fitness. So whether that be fitness programs, fitness agencies, personal trainers, all those are approved. Next up is food and diets, whether it be like food and diet plans or courses or anything of that nature. Next up, we have dating and relationships. Again, we have a lot of coaches in this particular niche. I'll show you how to get girlfriends or whatever. I don't really know what their marketing message is. I don't necessarily work for them. But yeah, dating and relationships, always good. And most info products and education. So any courses, online programs, mentorships are also great niches that you want to get into. So now that we have an idea of who we're kind of looking for, now it's time to get straight into the prospecting methods, the specific prospecting methods that we are going to use to get these copywriting clients. Okay, so first up, we have Instagram. Guys, Instagram is a great tool for finding prospects. Okay, so I'm going to actually go ahead and give you guys specific examples here as I open up my phone and we can get started. So guys, as you can see here, all I really did was search up investing coach. That's it, investing coach. And boom, prospects. So I have this guy over here and he has a link in his bio, which is probably some sort of paid course or something of that nature. Next up, we have another one and she has a link as well. And most likely a course, and she is an investing coach. Next up, we have another one called Holistic Personal Finance. Link in the bio, of course, and probably a course creator or coach as well. So guys, I just typed in one thing, it took me 2 seconds, and I got prospect. I can go to see all results. Then I can go to account, and I have tons of prospects here. I can also go into tags. I can also go into For You. And that's a very, very, very easy and simple way to actually find prospects. And the next method we have here is looking for Instagram ads. So as you can see, pretty much the second post I find when I go on Instagram is an ad. And this guy is obviously running an ad. So this tells me a couple things. One, it tells me he has a marketing budget, which is good because with that marketing budget, you can tell he's already spending money on ads. So to spend money on a copywriter wouldn't be a ridiculous idea, now would it? So if we go to his profile here, we click on it and we can actually click on the ad. We don't actually have to sign up or buy anything, but when you go and interact with the ad, it will basically tell Instagram that you want to see more ads. So if we just scroll for a couple more times here, boom, we have Brad Lee, another ad, okay? And as we keep going, and if we keep interacting with these ads and clicking on them, we're going to get more and more and more ads. Boom, here's another one. It's basically every 2 posts is an ad. And all of these guys are great prospects. And these are ones that you might not be able to find otherwise. As you can see, this guy only has 6,600 followers, but he's running ads and probably making a lot of money because a lot of the businesses that are making 6, 7, 8 figures, a lot of them don't even have a huge online presence. Okay, so this is a great way to actually find those guys that other people might not be reaching out to. And next, what we're going to want to do is scroll through the suggested tab on their profile. So you can see over here, we have this tiny little button. We can click on that, and then all of a sudden, we get a whole bunch of other profiles that are just like them, like this guy, who has a link in his bio. He's probably selling a course or whatever. So those are easy ways. You see there, it took me literally 30 seconds and I found prospect after prospect after prospect after prospect just on Instagram. Guys, easy peasy. That's what you're going to want to do if you want more clients. And next up, guys, you already know we got YouTube. So there's a couple of easy ways here. So number one, we could type keywords in the actual search bar itself. Next, we could look for niche specific channels and just click on the related ones. And next up, we can pay attention to YouTube ads. Now, the thing is, I have YouTube Premium. I'm not going to be able to see the ads, thankfully, thank God. But it's pretty easy and straightforward. But actually getting their emails from YouTube is something that you can do, which I will show you guys how to do now. So as you can see, we are over here on Hamza's YouTube channel, and all we really have to do is go over to the About section, and you can see that it says for business inquiries, you can view email address. You click on that and boom, you just tell them that you're not a robot, and his email address will pop up, and that is exactly how you can email Hamza, and that's how you can find their email if you're going to reach out to them, which we're going to do later with the outreach method. So that's how to do it with YouTube, but you can also do something similar on Instagram that I will show you now. So guys, here we are on Instagram, and we're on that account that I just showed you. And on this little tab, now this is only available on your phone. Some people don't know about it, but you can go and click this little contact tab here, and it shows you his phone number and his email. So guys, easy ways to find their email if you want to reach out to certain prospects that you find online. And then another way that you can actually find emails on Instagram is through their Linktree page. So if you've ever seen it before, in their bio, they have basically this tab with a whole bunch of their links. And oftentimes it has their email contact there as well. Usually you don't have to search too hard to find their email, but with all of these methods combined and more email methods I'm about to show you, you pretty much always going to be able to get their email. So next up is scraping emails. Scraping emails basically just means finding their email alternatively. So we can do that with sites like Apollo.io. Basically, this is a plugin into your Google Chrome browser that will make it so that all you have to do is find their LinkedIn profile and it will give you their email. Super easy, super simple. Next up, we have Rocket Reach. Now with Rocket Reach, all you have to do is type in their name and it will give you their best email. I don't know how it works, but it really does work, guys. Next time you're struggling to find their emails, you're going to want to use one of these two. So now that we know how to find prospects, we're going to want to know how to differentiate a good prospect from a bad prospect. So with that being said, let's hop right into the criteria we will be using. So how to properly check if the prospects are even worth outreaching to or not. The first thing we're going to want to do is look for their followers or subscribers. Okay. So if they have a very low amount of followers or subscribers with an online business, they had better be running ads. Otherwise, they're not really going to get much traffic, and they're not going to be big enough for you to really outreach to. Okay. You're not going to want to outreach to the guys who are super duper teeny weeny, because obviously they are not going to want to pay you very much. They might kick you a couple $100 here and there, but they're not going to be your next 3K a month retainer client. Next up, we want to check the engagement of their recent posts. Guys, we all know that especially Instagram followers can be faked. So if you come across a dude with 100,000 Instagram followers, but he's getting 4 likes on every single one of his posts, you can rest assured that he is a faker. Okay, he's a fake. He's probably not even worth reaching out to. Next up, you want to also make sure that they sell a product, obviously. Okay, so if you see in a prospect and they don't even have a product, they don't have a product linked anywhere on all of their things, then they're probably not worth reaching out to. And you might think, well, doesn't that mean that they must be a really tiny guy? But the thing is that some of these creators actually don't make any of their own product. How they make money is by using affiliate links for other things. And if that's how they make money, unfortunately, they're probably not going to be the best client for copywriting, because they don't sell their own products, right? They just mention it in a video, and then that's how they get sales, and that's how they get commission. And copywriting is just really not going to help them too much. So your ideal prospect is going to have an engaged audience, right? Lots of followers, lots of comments, and lots of engagement on all of their posts. Next up, you're going to want to make sure that they currently have some sort of marketing budget, okay? Because some of them are just one-person businesses and they're making a lot of money, but they're very adverse to the idea of bringing anyone else in. And next, you're going to want to make sure that they have an email list or sales funnel that you can improve, okay? These are 2 easy things that you can help them with to actually unlock new revenue and new income, which in turn will obviously get you paid, okay? Now that you guys know exactly who we're looking for, exactly how to find them, okay? I walked you through step by step. Now, What do we say? How do we get their attention? How do we get them to want to get on a sales call and then get them to agree to pay us for our services? Well, guys, don't worry, because I'm going to be going in deep depth on how to do every single part of that. Okay, so first of all, some things that we want to keep in mind while outreaching. Number one, clarity trumps everything. Guys, don't try to use big fancy words, try to be all scientific with your business lingo, nothing like that, guys. Clarity, it should be able to be easily read and comprehended by a 9-year-old, okay? Clarity trumps everything. If it's even the least bit confusing, if you even make them think, they're not going to want to reply. They'll just stop reading, okay? Stop reading. Next up, we want to lower their sales guard. Guys, remember this. Everybody loves to buy stuff, but people hate to be sold to. You might go out shopping. You might be spending bands, shut down the whole mall, just spending like crazy. But as soon as somebody comes up and says, hey, sir, can I sell you something? Hell no. You don't want to, you don't even want to talk to them. Why? Because people love to buy, but they hate to be sold. So in order to do that, we have to make sure that they lower their sales guard, okay? When people feel like they're being sold to, they put their guard up. This is called their sales guard. And we need to lower this by doing things like using sales neutral language, which of course I'll get into later on. Next up is the more personal, the more relevant. Guys, we want to be as personal as possible. We want to make our prospects feel special. What we don't want to do is make them feel like you are mass outreaching to millions of people. So if you send them some generic message that doesn't even say their name, doesn't even say their business name, is not specific to them at all, they're going to be turned off. Okay? They're going to feel cheap. They're going to feel like a cheap lead, like you're trying to sell them again. We want to make it seem like they're the only person that we're reaching out to, and I'll show you exactly how to do that. Next up, we want to make it low commitment for them. Guys, I see this happen all the time where they ask the prospects these big open-ended questions like, hey man, what's the open rate of your last email? Like, what do you expect them to do? You expect them to go back into the email service provider, go to the last email, check the report, check the open rate, and then get back to you? That's just not going to happen, okay? What you want to do is make it as low commitment as possible for them. So if you want to hear more, just send a quick reply or just reply with the word yes, and I'll send it over. Something where they don't even have to think. All they got to do is type one word, and then it just keeps going, okay? Because if you make it too high of a commitment level, if you say, hey, I'm outreaching to you, click here to book a call, they're going to have to they have to click a link, they're going to have to go through their schedule, they're going to book a call, you're going to get ghosted, okay? So you want to make it as low commitment as possible. Next up is to be concise, because they value their time. Make sure that you say the most in the least amount of words. The shorter, the better. Okay? You're going to want to make it as concise as possible. If they feel for even 1 second that their time is being wasted, they will not spend another second looking at it, especially the bigger that they are. Okay? If you're going to go for these clients who are open to paying you $2K, $3K, $4K down the line, chances are they are very guarded with their time, and you're not going to want to waste any of it, because they will not appreciate that, because to them, time is money. Their hour is usually around $600-$700, worth $600-$700 an hour. Okay. Next up is that free value opens doors, but results keep you in. Guys, like I said, coming with free value, giving them something first before you receive anything, is the way to win in all of business. You will get whatever you want as long as you provide enough people with what they want. And that is a golden rule from my boy Zig Ziglar. Anyways, I digress. Part 4.5, the outreach methods. The outreach methods, the real good stuff. Guys, I'm not going to lie, this blew my mind when I learned some of these outreach methods, because I want to talk to you for a minute about what a lot of people get wrong. So what a lot of people get wrong when it comes to outreach messages is they think that, okay, well, the best thing to do is just spam this generic outreach message out to everybody, and then eventually I'll just get clients, because it's just a numbers game, right? Well, no, it's not like that at all, okay? You shouldn't just focus on volume, on sending out as many as you can. You should focus on making them as good as possible. Your outreach should be as good as possible, because let's be real, the amount of prospects that are going to be willing to pay you 2K, 3K, 4K a month to write their copy is not infinite, okay? It's not infinite. There is a lot. Like I said, there's an abundance of opportunity. I proved it to you, but it's not infinite, okay? So eventually, if you're just sending out sending crappy emails or crappy outreach messages, eventually you're going to run out of prospects. So we want to be more intentional with how we outreach to people, okay? So and you also don't want to just make a generic email like, hey, so-and-so, I'm a copywriter and I can actually help you add more revenue to your bottom line. Would you like to book a call? ? That is basically the most terrible, overused outreach message possible, okay? Because I can guarantee you that your prospect gets at least 25 of those every single day. And I can guarantee that because I get almost 25 of those every single day. I only got 14,000 subscribers? Like, gee, way too generic, way too common. You're not going to want to come at it from that angle at all. And if you've been coming at it from that angle, hey, that's all right. Because I'm about to help you. I'm about to help you out big time. So, first of all, I want to talk to you guys about the Instagram bait and Riz outreach method. This one's dope. So first of all, here's exactly how it works, the exact steps, and also I'm going to give you examples. Of course, there will be no confusion. So we start off replying to their story, asking about their products. Okay, so this works mostly on Instagram. You can probably use it in email too. But what we want to do is ask a generic, open-ended question about their programs. Why? Because obviously they are going to reply. The reason they are going to reply is because they are going to assume that you perhaps may be interested in purchasing said product. Okay, so of course they're going to reply. It's not even going to be a question. Now that the communication has started, we know a couple things. First of all, we know that that person is getting our messages. Second of all, we are now in a conversation with them, which makes it harder for them to just ignore our message. Third of all, they know that we are a real person, okay, not just a bot who's just spamming out outreach messages. So with that in mind, now we move on to step number 2, which is switch to your idea that could bring them value. Okay, so you ask an open-ended question and then you use a little bit of Riz. You have to be smooth here. Okay, that's the thing, is that you don't want to ask the wrong questions. You don't want to ask them garbage. You don't want to be coming off too salesy or make them, raise their sales guard. We want to lower their sales guard. So how we're going to do that is to just casually ask them questions and also switch it smoothly to the idea that could actually bring them value and make them more money. And then, of course, you're going to want to smoothly propose the call. Okay, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that right now. And the bait and Riz method works so well because it gets a nearly 100% open rate, because obviously they're going to reply, because obviously they want to sell more products, and you are just asking an open-ended question about their product, right? You're not saying, hey, I want to buy, right? That would just be deceptive. So we don't want to do that. But we basically just want to ask an open-ended question. So, hey, about your coaching program, is it for coders or is it for programmers? I don't know, right? Just ask an open-ended question. Next up, once people are already replying, it's unlikely that they'll ghost you. And it does not require a lot of skill and can be done in bulk. Okay, you can do a lot of these, right? I use them on Instagram, like I said, but you probably use them on email or whatever other communication method that you want to use. And of course, I have some examples. So basically, this is an example from one of my students. And it's not perfect, but we can go through it. First of all, he opens with a reply to the story. Okay, so this is a type of opener. So you can reply to their story, or you can send them a message about their product, or you can do any number of things. Basically, the number one thing you're going to want to do is to get them to reply. A big reason why that's important on Instagram is because when you message somebody on Instagram, they're not going to get notified. It's not going to show up in their primary tab. What it's going to show up in is what's called their requests tab. And their requests tab is full of junk, right? It's basically you're going to show up in their junk mail. But once they reply, you then get moved from their junk mail to their primary folder, and they will get notified every time you message them, which is why it's so important to get them to reply at least one time. Okay, the opener is super important. So he sends his opener, and then they just talk about it for a little bit, whatever. And then here what he does, okay, is what I call let it marinate. All right, this is a part that I didn't actually put in the steps, but it's extremely important. So as you can see, he says something about chicken, and he says something else about chicken, and then they just laugh about it, whatever. Completely nonchalant. It's not salesy. It's not anything. And then he lets it marinate. I mean, he says he. I don't really know what that's about. He does a little Michael Jackson move, Shamona. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know. Really lame. But yeah, I don't know. As a grown man, I wouldn't be saying he. But that's just me. That's just me. Moving on. He lets it marinate. So I think it goes from 22nd of June all the way to 28th of June, right? So he leaves it for a week. Why is this important? Well, it's highly important to let it marinate, because imagine somebody comes up to you on the street and they say, hey, bro, I like your shoes. You say, oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. You know, I actually got these. And before you even finish, he's like, oh, yeah. Anyways, you want to buy this? You want to buy the cell phone plan? You want to buy that? It's gross, right? It's gross. It makes you feel like the whole interaction was just deceptive, which is not what you want, which is why letting it marinate is so important. So he leaves it go. He leaves it be, right? It also shows that he's not needy. And then what does he do? Then he comes back and says, hi, man, what day of the week do your weekly newsletters come out? Right? That's a good question, because I've subscribed a week ago and haven't received any newsletters from you yet. And then he says usually Fridays, but not always. And then the copywriter replies with, that's understandable. Why don't you have someone write them for you? And then he says basically an objection, because I like to write them. And then they just riz back and forth. He says, I understand how addictive writing can be. I really want to read your emails. Anyways, if setting up emails and automations is, a daunting task for you, then that's something that I actually specialize in. If you'd be open to the idea, basically is what he replies with. And then after that, you just ask for the call. And the way that you want to ask for the call is, okay, what you don't want to do is be like, let's get on a sales call so I can tell you how I can make you more money. No. The angle you want to use is, I think that I could make you more money, but I'm not actually sure. Okay, because remember, we want to be sales neutral here. You sitting here telling this guy how much money you can make, you might think, oh yeah, because I'm just being confident he's going to believe me. No, he's not going to believe you. He's going to have his guard up. This guy's not an idiot. These business owners are highly sophisticated. Okay, they're not going to just trust you, especially if you're just some dude without a business. Okay, they have an ego. They understand that they've been doing this for lots of years. So why should they take advice from some dude who probably only has 100 followers on Instagram? No offense. No offense. But, okay, so how do we want to go about it? Well, we want to say, well, look, I think that this can make you money, but I'm not actually sure. I don't know enough about your business yet. Could we hop on a quick 7-minute call so I can get a clear picture of where you're at and we could see if this could work for you or not? I mean, how do you say no to that? Well, he doesn't want to sell me anything. He just wants to see if this would work. Maybe it will work. Maybe it don't. Maybe it won't work. Right? That is how we use sales neutral language to close the deal. Okay, moving on. That's only method number 1, guys. We've only just started in here, because it gets better. It gets better. Trust. Next up, we have the Loom video outreach method. Okay, the Loom video outreach method, and it's absolutely incredible, and I'll tell you why. So guys, how you do the Loom video outreach method? First of all, you send them a message asking if you could send them the video. So basically, if you don't know what a Loom is, it's basically a screen capture and a video of you down in the corner. Loom is a software that you can use. It's free, and you can record videos with it, and it's very, very, very useful for this. So first of all, you send them a message asking, hey, I made a quick video for you. Can I send it to you? Basically. And next, what you're going to want to do is send them the video Loom. And then in the Loom, you want to ask for the call. So you basically say, hey, my name is whatever. Make it personalized to them in the Loom video. Don't worry, I'll give you the exact script in a minute. But you send them the video, and then you say what I just told you about, how to hop on a sales call. I have this thing. I think it could work, but I don't know. Let's hop on a sales call so I can get a better understanding of your business. Next up, we're going to want to continue and close the prospect in the DMs on the call. Okay, so after the video, they're going to DM you back with, oh yeah, I thought about this before, whatever, this is a good idea, I'd be looking to get started. And then you just close them in the DMs by saying, okay, cool, what I just told you, right? Let's hop on a call. So what is this Loom video? What are the key principles? So you're really not going to want to criticize them too much, okay? Use what I call the compliment sandwich. So what I see a lot of the copywriters do when they use the Loom outreach method is they just start ripping up somebody's sales page. Oh yeah, this headline sucks. It could be better if you just use this, and this. And then down here, the structure is all off, blah, 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 blah. These emails are trash. You're not going to want to do that because that's how you get angry replies of people being like, all right, well, thanks, jerk. So you're going to want to be nice about it. You're going to want to tell them something that you like, then criticize and tell them something that they could do better, and then tell them another thing that they like. This is called a compliment sandwich. Okay, this is a good way to criticize people without making them mad. You can use this on your client or you can use it on your woman. Either one, man, because I swear, criticizing a woman, you're not going to want to do that. They could have your head on the stick. Anyways. Next, you're going to want to show them objective proof of why your improvements will work. So show them examples. Look, you have your headline like this, but this other business or company has their headline like this, and they're bigger. They're making more money, obviously, because they're bigger. And yeah, this is probably what you're going to want to lean towards of, because now they're not trying to trust you. Now you're putting your trust or their trust in whatever the bigger business is, right? So you're showing them, hey, look, this other business does this thing, and they're making a lot of money with it, and you could probably do the same thing. That way, you don't depend on them trusting you because they're probably not going to trust you because you're probably just some dude. And next up, you're going to want to show them why you're convinced instead of trying to convince them. Guys, one of the worst things you can do in all of copywriting and all of sales and persuasion and all of it, all outreach, everything, is trying to convince them, telling them why this will work. Oh, this will work because X, Y, Z. This will get you money because X, Y, Z. Don't do that. Instead, show them why you're convinced. So for example, yeah, I used to write headlines and I used to do this as well. But I actually came across this other company or I actually came across this mentor or someone, and someone told me this new way. And then I was like, oh, okay, so that's how it works. That's how I learned it. And then I was convinced. And I feel like this same thing could work for you, right? Because when you tell people that you're convinced, it's a lot less of you trying to hard sell them. Okay, that's how it feels to them when you're trying to convince them. People always doubt what they're told, but they never question the conclusions that they themselves come to. Okay, so ask them a series of questions that will get them to the conclusion that you want to get them. So don't try to persuade them. Get them to persuade themselves. Okay, this is a whole psychology lesson as well. God damn, y'all are getting some value up in here. Next, the Loom structure example. So here's how you want to structure your actual Loom video. First up, personalized intro, of course. Hey, first name of business. I was looking through your product page, right? You're going to want to obviously say this. These are variables. And I thought I could help by XYZ, right? And then next is the persuasive advice and value. So I came up with 3 ways you can improve your emails. I came up with a couple ways that you can improve your sales page, your funnel, your this, your that. And next, you're going to want to give them a low commitment CTA at the end. If you'd like to test this out, send me a quick DM. That's basically all. And that is how you would structure your Loom video example. If you want to see actual examples, like a real video that I took and sent to a company and got an actual client from it, I have videos on my channel that where I actually do that. Okay. Now, see, I have tons and tons and tons of videos on my channel on these exact topics. So, going through the whole channel is a great way to get a way better understanding of what I'm talking about here. Because this video could literally be 5 hours, which, I'm not really trying to get to. So why the Loom video works so well? Well, first of all, they know you're a real person because you're actually showing up for them. Okay. Next up, you're making them feel special. You're not mass outreaching to a whole bunch of people. They feel like, oh, wow, this dude's sending me a whole video. It's a special outreach. Another reason why the Loom video works so well is because when they watch it, when they actually click and watch the video, it will give you a notification. So you'll know exactly when they watched it. You'll know if they didn't watch it, and you will know exactly when to follow up. That's pretty good, right? Guys, and next up, the next outreach method, this is the one that I swear by. This is the one that got me to 10K a month, and I'm going to show you exactly how it's done. It's called the video intro DM. Okay, and here's how it goes. Number 1, we compliment them with a story reply, or we use some type of opener. Like I said, it's really important to get them to reply to your DM on Instagram so you can get into the primary tab. And next, what we're going to do is let that marinate for at least 2 to 3 days. Again, like I said, we're going to want to leave it alone so that we don't look too salesy, so that it doesn't look deceptive. And next, what we're going to want to do is send them the video intro. All this is a video that I take of myself and I say, hey, my name is such and such. I'm a copywriter. I do this. Is this something that you'd like to talk to in the future? Right? It's really not persuasive or salesy or anything crazy. Anybody can do it. But the reason why it works so well, again, is because it makes them feel special. It shows them that you're a real person and not just some outreach AI bot, okay? Because that is the biggest thing that that's the biggest thing to consider, okay? Especially in 2023, the world of AI, everybody wants to know how to outreach with doing zero work and having doing zero outreach themselves, basically. And I'm here to tell you, all you got to do is put in a little bit of effort and you will go so much farther than anybody else, which is why the video intro DM works so well. So what do we even say in the video intro? Start it off with introduce who you are. Then you go over who you are and how you can help them. Okay, who you help and how you help them. So I help fitness companies add an extra 10K a month revenue to their bottom line by optimizing their emails or monetizing their email list or anything of that nature. And then all you do is ask for a reply back so that you could, eventually set up a call. If that's something that you're interested in, or if that's something you'd be open to, just send me a quick DM and we can talk about it. All right, that's it. I'll see you later. That's all. Very, very simple. It really is that easy. And I can't even tell you how many sales calls I've bagged with this one method. Okay. Disclaimer, guys, your first outreach methods will be your worst. Your first outreaches will be your worst. You probably will have zero riz. You'll say the wrong things and you may not be good on camera because some of those outreach methods are video outreach methods. The best way to fix this problem is to get feedback from your peers, okay? If you're gonna take a Loom video, or you're gonna take a video intro DM, share it with your peers, share it with other copywriters so that they can give you feedback on it and help you make it better. How do you do that? Well, don't worry, because I have the free Tyson 4D Discord server where you can get access to general chat with over 8,000 copywriters in it, networking opportunities with other copywriters who are farther along than you. We got 10K a month copywriters in there, 2K a month, 3K a month, 4K a month, and everything in between. We have you can get feedback on your copywriting itself and on your outreach methods and your outreach messages. You can get exclusive content that is nowhere to be seen on YouTube. Guys, I have hours and hours and hours of exclusive content that's on Discord that isn't on YouTube, and so much more. And it's all just one click away, and it's literally all free in the link in the description to the Discord server. Okay, moving on. Follow-up, guys. The money is in the follow-up. I'm telling you, if you ever struggle to get clients, the reason probably is your follow-up. Either you're not doing it or you're not doing it very well. Follow-up is integral. Follow-up is probably more important than your initial outreach message. That's how important it is. But don't worry, because I will give you the cheat codes right here and right now. So, some do's and don'ts when it comes to follow-up. Guys, come from a different angle pretty much every time. What you don't want to do is send the message or spam quick bumps. So send the same message or spam quick bumps. So what a lot of people do is they send their initial outreach message and then they say, hey, I saw that you didn't see my message. I'm just bumping this up so you can see it again. Hey, did you see my message? Hey, I messaged you a week ago. Hey, I messaged you 2 weeks ago. Did you see it? Hey, I'm just following up to see if you got my message. Super annoying. That's how you get blocked. That's how you get a restraining order put on you. What you want to do is come from a different angle each time. Don't just bump it up. Be like, hey, did you see my last message? Say something completely different. Pretend like the last message don't even exist. Say something completely different. Come at it from a different angle. Next is you want to make it personal and easy to read and valuable. Okay, personal, easy to read, and valuable, just like your outreaches. What you don't want to do is send the same follow-up to everyone. Okay, the same follow-up, the same generic follow-up that doesn't feel like it's specifically to them. Next, you want to be persistent instead of giving up after 2 follow-ups. Guys, I followed up with guys for 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, dozens of emails, and eventually I closed them. That's how you do follow-up. Follow-up literally never ends. It never ends. That's how you never run out of prospects. Okay, because there's this one thing called top of mind, and I want to explain it to you guys. What is top of mind? Guys, why do you always see advertisements for businesses like Coca-Cola and McDonald's? I guarantee you you probably wouldn't be able to find a person that doesn't know what McDonald's is. So why do they do so much? Why do they have the biggest advertising budgets in the world if everybody already knows who they are? Because they want to stay top of mind. They want to stay top of mind because you might not need them right now, but when you do need them, what are you going to think about? The thing that you've been seeing around all day. They might not need a copywriter right now, but when they do, what are they going to do? They don't want to go on Fiverr to get some cheap copywriter from the Philippines. They don't want to do that. They don't want to send out a message saying, hey, I'm looking for a copywriter. They'd rather reach out to the guy who's been outreaching to them for the past 3 months. Trust me, because I know, because I've done it. This is what works, okay? I'm giving you guys the sauce. How do we even follow up properly? Well, we want to use different channels. So you might hit them up on Instagram. You might hit them up on email and they won't reply. Well, then go ahead and hit them up on Facebook. Hit them up everywhere, every single way that you know how. Next up, we want to make a low commitment offer without being needy. Okay, just ask them to reply. Don't ask them, hey, you want to get on a call? Hey, click here to book a call. Like, they're not going to do that. That's way too much friction because then they got to click a link, which is already spooky, right? Then you got to think about when they're free and all this other stuff. They're not going to want to do that. I promise you, they're not going to want to do that. Next, if they don't respond, save them for later. Okay, you don't want to hit up the same person over and over and over again for like 10 times and they haven't even replied or seen your message. They're probably never going to reply or see it, or they're just not going to check that one medium that you're messaging them on. So free follow-up templates. Now I'm giving you guys the free follow-up templates, the free sauce. So this first one is called the quick bump. You only want to send this after your initial email and that's it, just once. Okay, you don't want to just spam this. This is what most people do. So, hey, Name, I know you're probably busy building your, coaching business empire, whatever the variable is. And this is kind of just a little bit in here to make it sound not robotic, to make it sound personal and like a little bit tongue-in-cheek. And got sidetracked. Either that or you're thinking, maybe if I ignore him, he'll just go away, right? It's kind of funny. You don't want to be super duper serious. You want to be a little bit, humorous with it so that, it makes it seem more human. But either way, just let me know if this is something you'd be open to hear about. If not, totally cool too. Now, notice here, it's super important that you give them permission to say no. When you give them permission to say no, they are much more likely to reply. And all you're trying to get them to do is reply. You're not trying to get them to only say yes. Because if they say no, now you don't have to waste your time replying or following up and following up and following up. You can leave them alone for a little bit. And the reason why they ignore you instead of saying no is because they don't think that you'll say no, you'll take no for an answer. All right? They think that if they say no, you're just going to try to objection handle them and keep messaging them and it's just going to get out of hand. Giving them permission to say no is extremely important and it's going to show how not needy you are. Okay? This is the sauce. Remember. Next up is the Loom angle or the Loom follow-up. So if you initially outreach to them with the bait and riz method or some other method, then you can try another method on them like the Loom angle. So, hey, Name, my last message was a bit of a long one, so I'll make this short. I made a quick 4-minute video for you to further explaining a few viewpoints that could help company. Let me know if that's something you think could work, right? And then, or let me know if you want me to send it over. Just send a reply with the letter 1 or with the number 1, and I'll send it over. Remember, make it nice and low commitment. Next up, we have the breakup email. This is another one that most people wouldn't really think of. So, and the reason why it works so well is that, man, people always chase things that are leaving them, but they don't want anything as it comes to them, right? You ever notice that once you get a girlfriend, all of a sudden, all these shorties want to hit you up in the DMs? It's the same thing. They want what they can't have, which is exactly why this works. So it goes like this. I've sent you a couple of emails so far regarding some ways we could grow a company, but you haven't replied. This will be the final message you'll receive from me. However, if you'd like to at least hear the idea on how we can add more revenue to your bottom line, just send a quick reply to this email and I'll send over a concise 3-minute video explaining. If not, just reply to this email with the word no and I won't follow up anymore. Wish you the best. Boom. Okay. This gets replies like nothing else. It's so extremely, extremely useful. This must be in your repertoire, my friends. And the best part about it is that if you send this and they will reply or they say no, you circle back with them 2 months later. Boom. Because I did stop sending you messages and now I'm going to start again, right? So remember, you can be top of mind just like that. Okay. Moving on. The sales call. Now that you have mastered prospecting, you know exactly who to target, how to find them. You know exactly how to outreach to them, what to say. You know exactly even how to follow up. You are going to get on sales calls. It is not even a question. It's not even a question. You're going to get on sales calls. And I will also show you how to master those as well. Okay? Basic principles of the sales call. Guys, do research before the call. Do research on their business. Have some idea of what kind of business they have. Okay, you don't want to be on the call seeming like you never even heard of their business before, because you outreach to them, and remember, they want to feel special. Everything we talked about outreach also applies to follow-up, which also applies to sales calls. Next up, you want to relate and extrapolate on these sales calls. So one of the most important factors of a sales call is to make sure that the person feels heard. Okay, how do you make them feel heard? By relating and extrapolating. So first of all, you want to actively listen. You don't want to just sit there like a zombie and just be like, yeah, okay, staring off into space, act like you're not even listening. Okay, and the worst thing you can do is ask them a question, and then they answer the question, and then you ask them another question. Okay, because that makes it feel like an interview. Okay, cut it out with the interview questions. What you're going to want to do is relate and extrapolate. So for example, if you ask them, hey, have you done an email campaign before? And they say, yeah, I have, but it didn't work out because all my emails just went in spam. Then you want to relate. You relate by saying, oh yeah, I get that. That often happens when people first start up their email list. And then you want to extrapolate by being like, well, you know, we can probably fix that by fixing your email deliverability and improving your email service provider's reputation. Boom. Relate and extrapolate. You make them feel heard, and you also show what you know. Right? You show them that you know exactly what they're talking about and that you're an expert in the field, and you extrapolate, you know, you relate it to something else, and you kind of have a conversation. A sales call should basically be a conversation, not an interview. Next up, give them what they want, not what you are good at. Okay, so if you're really good at emails, you want to sell this person emails, but they're saying like, well, no, I don't really care about emails. I need to have these sales pages and sales pages and sales pages, or I want to do something with Instagram. Then you're not a copywriter, you're not an email copywriter, you're a problem solver. You need to get in there and give them what they want, no matter what it is, especially when you're a beginner. When you're a beginner, you need to be looking for opportunities. Okay, that's all that really matters. Not just searching and searching and searching for your ideal client, because that's going to get you nowhere quick. Next is don't use salesy language, okay? Don't use salesy language and don't argue sell with them. Okay, so if they tell you something like, oh, yeah, well, I just need more time. Don't be like, oh, no, you probably don't need more time. No, you don't need more time. You just ask more questions. What you want to do is agree with them, right? That's how you objection handle. Agree with them. Oh, yeah, I get it. You probably need more. You wouldn't want to make a big decision like this and like sign all of these contracts or whatever if you didn't have more time, right? But, what did you want more time to think about? Did you want more time to think about the price, more time to think about if it's going to work or not, more time to do some research? Because then that will get you closer to their real objection. So don't use salesy language. Don't try to hard sell them. Don't do anything like that. Next up, like I said, you want to practice active listening. You want to use your expressions. You want to say, You want to relate and extrapolate. Next up, you don't want to be needy. Okay? Don't be needy on this sales call. It's the quickest way to turn them off. It's just weird. Objection handling. I kind of already went over this a little bit, but you want to ask questions to get them to convince themselves, okay? Like I said, don't try to persuade them, get them to persuade themselves. Next up, you want to agree and become curious with their objections. So, well, yeah, I don't know about the price. The price seems kind of high. To be like, okay, no, that makes sense. I mean, it does have a big price tag, and most people aren't, enthusiastic about just whipping out that much money and sending it over. But is it a question of like the price, or is it a question of value? Like, do you think that it's just not worth it, or do you just not have that much money right now? Because that gets you closer to the real objection that they have. An objection usually is just a facade. It's something to throw you off their trail because they want to get off the call as soon as possible because they're not convinced. So you want to just get deeper and deeper, peel back the layers of the onion to find out what their real objection is. And that's how you do it. And also, never argue with them. You want to agree and become curious. Okay, now closing the deal. You want to let them know the next deal. After you've set it up, be like, okay, well, here's what I'm going to do. By this date, I'll have this. By that date, I'll have that. You want to collect the cash as soon as possible. And you want to prepare for the work. Okay, easily enough. If you get to this point, you're ahead of 90% of copywriters because they just mess around looking for secrets and tactics, and they're just doing crappy outreach because they haven't watched this video, obviously. And of course, there is a live sales call training that can be found on this channel. It looks like this, where I am actually reviewing a sales call live and showing you and breaking it down step by step what was done well and what could have been done better. I go deep into that, 35 whole minutes, right? I'm not going to do that here, obviously, because I don't want this video to be forever. We're already at like an hour now, so we're going to keep going. We're going to go next, which is fulfillment. Fulfillment, arguably one of the most important parts. Now that you've got all the clients, it's time to go for fulfillment. So when it comes to fulfillment, why is getting these results so important for your clients and for you? Well, because the best paid athlete is the best athlete. Which athletes are the most paid? It's the ones that are the best. It's the ones that can get the most results. And the same comes with your copywriting. You get them the best results. You become the best in your niche, become the best copywriter, and you will be the highest paid. It really is just that simple. Next up, it's always easier to sell a good product than it is to sell a bad product, okay? And your client's results equal your results, because if they make $20,000, you're probably gonna make $2,000 to $4,000 to $5,000, okay? Easy. If you just make them more money, you will make more money. And once you have all of these things down and you're a great copywriter and you made everybody all this money, then they're going to want to refer you to their business friends. Hey, yo, this dude made me an extra $20,000 just by doing this one thing with the emails, and I want to give him to you. I want to, he can work for you. He's good. I trust him. You're good. I trust you. So, I'll introduce you guys to each other. Boom. That's how you get clients without even having to do any outreach. These are the best kind of clients. Okay. So in order to get good at copywriting, I have a whole bunch of free courses on this channel. So I have, so these are just titles from the last one, but basically I have the free copywriting course, which will show you how to just start copywriting from nothing. So if you're a complete beginner, that one will be best for you. I also have an AI copywriting course where I'll show you how to write better copy even faster with AI and ChatGPT. I also have the top 10 copywriting tips video, which will also be very helpful in you becoming a great copywriter. So here are your next steps. Number one, pick a niche, a prospecting method, and an outreach method. Next, you're going to want to start with as little as 10 outreaches a day. Guys, you want to be consistent with your outreach. Just start outreaching, okay? Don't sit there wondering, well, what if this isn't the best niche? Well, what if this isn't the best outreach method? Just go. Just go. Remember, underthink and overdo, just go. Next up is you're going to want to join the free copywriting Discord server below to connect with the community, okay? I get it. Even if you're not big on Discord, you don't even have a Discord account set up yet, guys, you're going to want to do this because the value in here is unsurmountable, okay? The free Discord has so many other copywriters, so many things that you can learn, and it will also gamify your journey, okay? It will make the journey much more bearable, okay? Next up, you're going to want to share this video with others. I get it. You're probably going to want to gatekeep this. You're going to be like, oh my God, I'm so happy I found this. This is crazy. But there is enough success out there for everybody. And don't let other copywriters struggle. So if you see somebody else struggling, they're asking questions about outreach, get them to watch this video and all the questions shall be answered. Next up, you're going to want to sharpen your skills, like I said, with the free 2.5-hour copywriting course here on my channel. Guys, now you know how to get copywriting clients. That is it for today. And of course, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.